Good morning, dear devotees and friends. Before we start our regular discourse on the Yoga Vasistha, I'd like to congratulate you and send my best wishes and namaskar on this very holy day of Ratha Yatra. This is a great day for the Hindus and for both the Dvaitin and Advaitin. For the Dvaitin is the God who is coming out from his shrine and he is traveling through their own area. And they can go, they can touch, they can see their God sitting in the chariot like a king that is moving around in his own kingdom. The God is going. And now that is the unique way the devotees can come that there is no caste, no other differences. They all can come and can go along with the God. So that is the beautiful way. And at the same time, the Vedantin will say that a very subtle the philosophy, very subtle truth that has been depicted through the image of Lord Jagannath. The Lord Jagannatha, the name that they have been given, we are remembering, he is the Lord of the whole universe. He is the creator, Lord Jagannatha. Now, this Jagannatha, he is not having the hands. Why? Because he creates things just by thinking, not like us. He is not having the legs. Why? Because he is already everywhere. He doesn't need to go from one place to another place. So that is why in the Upanishad we find in the wonderful way trying to give us an idea about the Brahman, which is consciousness, which is all pervading. Tadejati, tanvaijati, tad dure, tad antike, tad antarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasyasya bhahyatah. That is not moving, but that can move. It is inside, it is outside, it is everywhere. It is a very subtle thought that everywhere that consciousness. But suppose we, the ordinary people, try to concentrate our mind on that particular thought that God is everywhere, it will be very difficult for us, if not impossible. Then what to do? So the great sages, that they have given the beautiful idea of the Jagannatha statue. The Daru Brahma is the Brahman, but Daru Bhuta, as if he has become the wood. That is the God, but he is having two big eyes without any eyelids. Why? Because he is the Shakshi. So this truth has already been wonderfully given to our Shastra, and that has been just to teach the ordinary people to understand that it has been given. And what is the chariot? Chariot, of course, it is drawn by the horses, it is having the wheels and also the reins, the control by someone. And the Upanishad says, Atmanam Rathinam Vitti, Shariram Rathamevatu. This Sharira, this physical body, is nothing but the chariot. As we see the chariot of the Jagannatha, this is the body. Then, who is there, the God residing inside? That is the Atma, that is Jagannatha. Atmanam Rathinam Viddhi, Shariram Rathamevatu, Buddhim tu Sarathim Viddhi, Mana Pragahamevacha. And our intellect is the person who is actually driving. So that is the way only it can go. Sarathim Viddhi. And the mind, that is the rein, that is controlling. So this is the way, if we understand, it is so easy. Each and every soul is divine. In the language of Swami Vivekananda, each soul is potentially divine. Why potentially? Because we not yet manifested. It is there. And what is that? This consciousness. It is already there on our buddhi, on our intellect. Friends, we are studying this Yoga Vasistha, and that is, it always speaks about this highest truth. And here, those who are following this class, you know, the Guru, the Vasistha, he is teaching his disciples, Sri Ramachandra, go beyond your mind, dissolve your mind. There should not be any thought. So that is a unique way to understand the truth. So the ordinary people, they have brought down the Ratha Yatra. It's a beautiful way this higher truth has been taught. Now this, is it necessary? Of course it is necessary. Rituals are the basis of the whole religion. If rituals are not there, then it will become very dry. It will be only for a handful of people. For the all people, rituals are necessary. So we are fasting, we are going to see the God, and when we see on the chariot, and there is also, they say, Rathanam tu Vamanam drishtva punarjanmana vidyate. If you can see that the Lord, the Vamana, and different names we call, they are very small, but that is all pervading. Rathanam tum Vamanam drishtva punarjanma navidyate. Then you are free from the circle of birth and death. And what is that Ratha? It is my body. And what is that Vamana? Myself. And who is going to get out of the circle of birth and death? It is me. And what is this me? A superimposition of my ego on the Supreme Consciousness. Is it not very unique? So I am not going to blame anyone. I cannot blame anyone if I am suffering because of me, because of my ignorance. So the spiritual life, it teaches like this. When the social life, of course we should be, as long as we are not understanding this truth, so we have to be very practical. So Vyavaharika and Paramarthika, there are two conceptions. The ultimate truth is this. But in the Vyavaharika, in the practical level, we must be very, very careful, and we should go, we should try to touch the rope, we should try to give a pull to that chariot. And what is that? Righteousness should be everywhere. What is God? Righteousness. What is religion? Righteousness. And nothing but love and unselfishness. So that should be everywhere. And practicing that, I become very happy in my personal life, and I contribute that happiness in the society, and ultimately the whole world becomes as the conception of heaven. It becomes the heaven. Why should I have to go to heaven? We do not know where it is. Why should I have to wait for our death? After the death we will go to heaven. Why? We should enjoy heaven here, understanding this truth. So let us now, as we are studying the Yoga Vasistha, the same truth the Rishi Vasistha, the Guru Vasistha is teaching. Before that, as usual, let us chant this mantra to remind us to what is the subject that we are going to study. Dikaladi anabachinna ananta chinmatra murtaye swanubhuti ekamanaya nama shantaya tejase. I salute the Supreme Brahman, who is beyond all qualities. He is tranquil above all limitations, the embodiment of infinite consciousness, and can be known only through the proof of one's own experience. We are going to understand that Brahman through the words of the Vasistha. In our last discourse, we heard the Rishi is telling Satsanga, Vasana Tyaga, Adhyatma Vidya Vicharanam, Pranaspanda Nirodha Cha Tu Upaya, Chetasa Jaye. Chetasa means the mind. To control the mind. All problems in the mind only. I am thinking, hence all things are happening. I am thinking this person is good. That person is immediately becoming good. The moment I thought that person is bad, that person becomes bad. So like that only, the thought is creating the whole world. If we can control that mind, which is constantly ruling me, it is me only, and my mind is nothing but my part. But no, it has become the main owner of the whole personality. So I should be careful, I have to control the mind. So how? Then he is giving these few things. First is satsanga. You have to have the holy company. And what is the holy company? In short, we can say that inspires you to serve others. That is the company. It may be a book, it may be a person. If opposite, then that is not a holy company. It may be a company, but not the holy company. The holy company always will give you this type of impetus, encouragement to become broad-minded, to become a lover of the whole world. So that is holy company. And how that is possible? By removing the ego. If constantly there is someone sitting at the door, I, it is me and mine, then you are not going to get any good idea from the outside world. And what is this I? Vasana, they are all desire. I should be appreciated, I should get the success, I should be benefited, all I and I. So obviously, vasana tyaga, that this nirvasana, as Mother Ma Sharada Muni Devi said, the moment you become nirvasana, that means you can abolish all your desire. That very moment you can realize the Brahman. So satsanga is the first, to get the idea, to get the guidance. Then we try to control all our desires, selfish desires. Adhyatma Vidya Vicharanam. Then we should go on studying or thinking or pondering or meditating on the Adhyatma Vidya, the spirituality. What is spirituality? That which is not worldly. That is spirituality. Anything worldly, and what can be considered as worldly? That anything that is changing, all are worldly. That which is supreme, never changes, eternal, that is spiritual. So we should constantly send our mind to that. And then pranaspanda nirodha. Then is a practice they are giving us. There are some of the ideas, there are satsanga, then vasana tyaga, then adhyatma vidya vicharanam. These are the ideas. And then it says, some practical thing you should do, sit and control your mind. Pranaspanda nirodha. How? By controlling your breathing, pranaspanda. When I control the breathing, mind become calm or very active. When I am running, so I breathe so fast. And when I am sleeping, very slow. So obviously it has been proved that if I can control this breathing, I can control the mind. So prana, spanda, nirodha. It says nirodha, stop it. So slowly, slowly, as if you are not breathing at all. And that is the Chatu Upaya. These are the only ways, 4 ways. Satsanga, Vashana Tyaga, Atmatma Vidya Vicharana, and Pranaspanda Nirodha. These are the 4 steps. By this way, we can control our own mind. Then the Rishi is telling, O Rama, cover your mind. The cover your mind. Can I control all the minds in the world? Mostly when you start doing something, maybe good. For the bad, of course, they don't bother. But when you try to be good, you want to see good that in every member of your family, every people in the society, in your neighborhood. See, that person is not good, that person is not meditating, he is not visiting the temple, he is not doing this. Like this we go on telling. But it is not possible. The world will be like this. Satye anrite mrithani kritve. The truth and the untruth. They've mixed up, and then this world has been created. So there will be difficulties, there will be problems. And if you try to make the whole world perfect, it is not possible. And the history teaches that. Lord Buddha tried, Lord Jesus tried, Sri Krishna tried, Sri Ramachandra tried, but still so many bad things are there. So then what should we do? That's why the Guru is telling to his disciple, cover your mind. Don't bother about the world, it will be like this. Because if the creation is like this, you better cover your mind. If you can cover your mind, then everything will be all right. O Rama, cover your mind. How? With the thought of Brahman. With the thought of Brahman. What is the mind? Thoughts. So many varieties of thoughts are crossing constantly. And if we can replace those thoughts with the thought of the Brahman, then we can conquer the mind. So, O Rama, cover your mind with the thought of Brahman, and you will be Brahman. So, that is exactly what he is teaching. And in the 23rd verse, he is telling, Na aham brahmeti sankalpat sudhidham baddhate manaha. Sarvam brahmeti sankalpat sudhidham uchyate manaha. Only 2 things. If you think, I am not God, I am not pure, I am bound, you are bound. Why? You are thinking in that way. When you are thinking that you are bound, you are bound. When you are thinking that you are free, you are free. Now, aham brahmeti, I am not the Brahman. Brahman means all-pervading consciousness. If you think, no, I am just this body, mind, most of the time people will say, we are all like this, Swamiji. If you think you are like that, if the Swamis also think like that, they will be like that. So everything is nothing but the mind. So at this point we should keep in mind that everything is nothing but mind. That means the thought. So whatever way we think, I am not the pure soul. If you think and take the resolution and if you take the decision that I am not pure, you are not pure. Then what you are? Bound. Now aham brahmeti sankalpat, thinking, sudhidham baddhate manaha. The mind is very strongly bound. Just change it. Sarvam brahmeti sankalpat. Everything is nothing but the Brahman, the consciousness. Then sudhidham uchyate manaha. Then you are completely free. So that is the way everything is Brahman. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said again and again that why you are constantly thinking that you are the not holy. In the Christianity, that the Bible they were reading, and in that Bible they were reading, I am a sinner, I am a sinner, I am a sinner. And Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, why you are talking like that? By constantly saying that I am a sinner, you become sinner only. So this what is taught by the Guru Vasistha, the same teaching only in the modern time. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is also teaching. Don't think in a negative way. Think that I am free, I am the son of God, I am the daughter of God, and that way you will be completely free. Everything is nothing but Brahman. Swami Vivekananda also said like that. Think positively. Never ever in a negative way. Think positively. And in a very strong language he used, you are going on telling that you cannot do, you cannot do. In India, and after the subjugation for such a long period of time, we lost all our self-confidence. And naturally, so whatever was happening, we used to say, cannot do that, only Britishers can do. We were losing all our self-confidence in that way. Swami Vivekananda brought back that self-confidence. How? Vedanta. And what is that Vedanta? You are pure. Don't ever think that you are impure. A little bit of thoughts are crossing in the mind, or some here and there, the mistakes that we have done, it doesn't matter at all. Why I was doing something wrong? Well, from today, this moment, I am going to be good. That resolution, and you were good. There are so many stories are there. The writer of the Ramayana, what he was and what he became afterwards. So that is the way if we think, na aham brahmeti sankalpat sudhidam badhyate manaha. So we should never ever think that I am bound, I am a sinner. And we should always think that I am going to be free because I am ever free. There is no bondage at all. So this is the way we should think. Now, to explain this, the Rishi is telling a story. The story of a king named Labana. He was of Uttara Pandava. He was the king of the Uttara Pandava. We don't know now which was that kingdom, but he was the king of the Uttara Pandava. His name was Labana. And it says, Vasistha is telling, I was there. You know, the Vasistha is just like the Brahma. He was everywhere. It is considered like that. He was everywhere in all periods of time. So Vasistha knew everything. The Vasistha told Rama, I have seen that. It happened before my eyes. I was present into that court of the king, Labana. The king was a very righteous person, noble, charitable, and very courageous. Now, why he is telling all these qualities of the king? Because the adjectives that he is using for the king to mention that he is not an ordinary person. Because the story that he is going to tell, before that he is mentioning that he was a righteous person. He was dharmic, righteous person. Then he was noble in his thought and very charitable. He was very kind. And at the same time he was courageous. So these are the qualities that makes a man great. He was a great king. Now one day, the one magician came to visit him in the court. The magician, he moved the fan of the peacock feathers before the king. And he told, King, I like to give you a gift, a wonderful gift. And then immediately the king saw a beautiful white color horse. And this is the horse you can ride and you can go anywhere of the world. This is happening only to the king. All other people, they are only hearing the magician is telling, but they can't see, they couldn't see anything. So that is why the moment he showed his fan, immediately some spell came on a person who was righteous, who was courageous. So that person was under the spell. He saw that horse. He rode on that. He went out and he was traveling. He couldn't control the horse because the horse was taking him. Then he reached to a place, a terrible place. No food at all and no drink. All around people, they were drinking only the blood. They were killing each other and they were drinking that blood. And terrible looking lady came and told, hey, you have to marry me, then only you'll survive. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you. He had to, though he was a very strong person, but he couldn't do anything. He had to marry that lady. Then they went to her house, and she was a sort of the leader of that clan, and that he also became the leader. And then he was having a family and his children, 3 children. He was bound. But somehow, in the corner of his mind, he used to think, I was not like this. I like to go back to my old life. How can I go? How can I go? How can I go? So that he never forgot. He used to go on remembering the good days of his life. That's the story he is going. Then, when he was just sitting like that, as if meditating for a long time, then his very close minister came and told him, King, we are all waiting for your orders because so many people are waiting to talk to you. And if you now meditate, it will be difficult. You are sitting on the throne. You have to perform the king's duties. We never listened to anything. He was as if like that, like a statue. Then few others also came and they touched him. The moment they touched him, he cried out, oh, don't kill me, don't kill me. Then they told, King, you are a king. Why you are thinking what you are thinking? Are you dreaming? Then as if he came down to his old self and said, oh, I was dreaming. Then he, hey, where is that magician? No one could find that magician. He was nowhere. Now the king was sitting over there before everyone, and he was so courageous, so strong mind, everything. And the magician came and did something, and he started thinking completely different way, and he suffered for such a long period of time. He was telling 12 years I was suffering. But he was sitting on maybe for 12 minutes. So what is it? That is exactly what the Rishi is asking to Rama. What do you think of it? The king was there in that kingdom. King was there surrounded by his own people. King was sitting on his throne, but still king was not there. And not only that, hardly for 10-12 minutes. And he was thinking 12 years he has suffered in the life of the terrible people. And he was having a family. Who did it? His own mind. So when we dream, what we actually see? Our own mind. So what is more powerful in this world? Mind. O Rama, what is a person but the mind? A person is nothing but the mind. Mind is the world. What is more mysterious, O Rama, than that the mind is able to veil the omnipresent, pure, eternal, and infinite consciousness? This is very mysterious. The consciousness which is all pervading is covered. How it is possible? Then sometimes they give the example, sometimes we can't see the sun, which is so much bigger than our world. But still we can't see the sun. Why? a small patch of cloud will come and cover the drishti, my eyes. I can't see, my sight will be covered by this patch of cloud and I can't see the sun. The same way, this is the power of Maya, is covering my consciousness, my mind, covering the full consciousness. Just as an actor is able to portray in himself the character of different personalities, the mind is able to create different states of consciousness. The Rishi is telling to the different states of consciousness means Jagrat, Sapna, Susupti. What is Jagrat? We are all aware. The body and the mind are all active. We are Jagrat. Swapna, the mind is inactive. The body is inactive, but the mind is active. And Susupti, both are inactive, body and the mind, both are inactive. But still we are there. So when we think that the mind is the only thing, it is subtle. We can understand the body is so gross, the mind is the subtle. But beyond the mind, there is a subtlest thing is there which is actually controlling the body and the mind, and it is that consciousness. But it is covered by the mind. He who does not allow his mind to roam in objects of pleasure is able to master it. Now he is giving that teaching that when we are trying to master our mind, what we should do? We should withdraw the mind from the sense objects. That's why in Hindu tradition it came Ahara Suddhi, Sattva Suddhi. That you must be very careful about your food. But unfortunately, we misunderstood the whole teaching. And food became nothing but the kitchen. And everything, food means what you are cooking, what you are eating, who is cooking, how you are eating, is all wrong. Ahara means what we are gathering from these objects. What are the objects? 5 objects. Rupa, Rasa, Sabda, Sparsha and Gandha. These are the 5 objects are there. And when the Rupa means the form, when you see different type of forms and the reaction comes in our mind, that is also Ahara. When you see the good thing, we become happy. That is Ahara. We are eating through the eyes. We are eating through the ear, the good words or the negative words, or through the smell, through the touch, and of course through the tongue. But when you go only Ahara and they translate it, some people we don't know how, it has become so strong all over the Indian society, what you are eating, what you are eating. Swami Vivekananda, he became very angry with this. And he said, do you think you have religion? He was addressing the Indians. Do you think you have religion? Your religion is in kitchen only. And for the thousands of years you were thinking how to hold the drinking glass in the left hand or right hand, and what to eat, when to eat, on which day, time. So many list is there. You should not eat this, you should not eat that. And our holy people are also going on fanning that idea. The Ahara means not only through the tongue. Ahara means all through the 5 senses. And that is the reason the more and more we are concentrating on our food, all through life if we go on eating only pure grasses, do you think you will realize God? Cows are eating the only grasses, nothing else. Do they realize God? So that we have to understand. And in many places, our great soul, they have tried to give this idea. We have to break all these small bondages. And Mirabai says, Patthar pujan se hari mile to mai puju pahar. My friends, do you think by worshipping only stone, you can realize God? In that case, why the small stone? I will worship the whole hill, whole mountain. Phalmul khake hari mile to badur badarai. If you think just by eating some fruits and roots, you can realize God, all through the life the monkeys are eating the fruits. Have they realized God? Think about it. This is the ahara that constantly we are going. That's why the Rishi said, you have to withdraw your mind from the sense objects. And the sense objects are 5. Rupa, the form, Rasa, the taste, Shabda, the sound, Sparsha, the touch, and Gandha, the smell. And our 5 organs are there to enjoy that separately. They are dedicated for particular object. So we have to control that. Then only one can become a truly holy. Some people, they used to go into remote places, in the caves, and so that they won't see, they won't hear, they won't smell, and no question of touch. By that way, they try to control their mind. And now also many people, they go into solitude. Maybe a great help when you are not in the contact of that. But then a time should come for you to say, well, now I am well equipped to control my mind. Come down to the society. Roam in the society. Teach the people the righteousness without being attached to it, because you now know. That is called Paramahamsa, the Jyoti Paramahamsa. That this is the way one should try to do. Because I know all these things, so I am mixing with them, but completely untouched. O Rama, abandon cravings and cover your mind. He first told, cover your mind. Don't bother about all the people. It is not going to change. Swami Vivekananda, he said, I like to see you work for the betterment of the world and die. I love you so much, but I like to see you die for the effort to give the goodness to the world, service to the world. Then he said again, the truth. This world is like a dog's curly tail. As long as you are holding it, it will be straight. The moment you lose it, again it will curl. Dog's curly tail. That what I am going to do, cover the mind. O Rama, cover the mind. In the whole world, there are so many dust. Shall I go to cover the whole world? Or cover my feet? That will be sufficient. So that is the way he is teaching. When the mind is thus absorbed in the infinite consciousness, there is supreme peace. Now, why shall I do it? Why shall I control all the food that is coming from outside through my 5 senses? Why shall I not allow my mind to do whatever it likes to do? Then he says, you are actually running for peace, for joy, for happiness, isn't it? In that case, this is the best way to get the best joy. That is called the bliss, supreme peace. So what is the goal of all the spiritual practices? What is the goal of God realization? Peace, santosha, satisfaction, always contained it. So that is the way he says, and the Vasistha said in the 24th verse, Chitte takte layam yati, dvaitam oikem cha sarvataha, shishyate tu param brahma, shantam nityam anamayam. Chitte takte. When mind stops functioning, takte means giving up. The chitta means the mind. When you give up the mind, that means there is no function. When there is no thought, that means there is no mind. The chitta tyakta means not that we are going to operate our body and taking out the mind. Doctors won't find the mind inside the body, though it is the more powerful. And somehow they will be telling that some of the veins and the nerves and this, that, but the mind is the most powerful and is the subtle. You cannot find it in the gross way. So what you can do, just give up all the desires, and what will happen? All the functions of the mind will be stopped, and tranquility will come. Chitte tyakte layam. Layam means giving up. Dvaitam aikyam cha sarvataha. Dvaitam means duality. Dva means two. So dvaitam means duality. What is the duality? God is separate, I am separate. So that duality will go away. Aikyam, though God is one, that conception also will go away. This is really, really very, very unique way, the expression. And then shishyate. Shishyate means remains. Sometimes the shishya means the disciple, sometimes shishya means remain. Shishyate tu param brahma. If you can stop functioning your mind, what will be there? Param Brahma. And what is that Param Brahma? Consciousness. What is the consciousness? Supreme knowledge. What is that knowledge? Only joy and nothing else, because there is no fear, because there is no desire. And what remains? Only joy. So that he said, when the mind is thus absorbed in the infinite consciousness, there is supreme peace. Shishyate tu param Brahma. Then he said, what type of Brahma? Trying to give a little idea about Brahma. Shantam, Nityam, Anamayam. As because Brahman is subjective, you cannot express. So that is why it says Shantam. Now suppose someone asks me, oh, who are you, sir? To what I will say? Oh, I am the son of so and so, and I am a sannyasi, I live over here, this is my name. And most of the time the people will be asking, in India, usually the sannyasis never disclose about themselves, but in America, for any program you have to give your all data. So we have to say, this is my guru, this is this, this is that. So this, when we say those things, are they really true? No, it may not be. Sometimes, whole life, a person was thinking that his father is that, a mother is that. Then a father, mother passed away. Then when he was about to die, he came to know that he was adopted by that family. He doesn't actually the child of that couple. Then at the fag end of his life, he was thinking, then where from I came? That is exactly the same thing that happens to us. We are thinking, this is my mother, this is my father, this is my family, this is my religion, all we are thinking only. So that is not true. So that here it says, the Shantam is calm. Now how to introduce Brahman? He says it is calm. Why? There is no desire. The moment there is desire, the mind is not calm. So that is Shantam. Then eternal. It is, that time, at the time of my grandfather, Brahman was there. And present day, no, it is not like that. It has no past, it is not present or future. It is constant every time. It was, it is, it will be. That's all. Nityam, Anamayam. Is completely free from suffering. Sometimes some people will say, I am Brahman, by mistake, not understanding what actually they are telling. And then there will be some suffering because he lost the job or some other problem. So that suffering is there. You are not Brahman. You have not realized Brahman. So when one realizes Brahman, there is no suffering at all. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he told this through a beautiful story. One man had the habit of saying that because of the Rama, this is happening. Ram ka ichha mein. So he was an ordinary person. He finished his dinner. He was sitting on the open veranda and smoking. Then some dacoits came and found that man is sitting over there, and they were having something to carry. Hey, come here, carry for us. He said, okay, Ram ka ichha. So because these dacoits came for the Rama, he started carrying the load. In the meantime, police chased. Those dacoits could somehow escape. This man was caught. So he was taken to the jail, and next day he was produced before the judge. The whole village came. They told, of all people you are thinking that he has stolen those things. He is such a holy man. Then the judge told, okay, so many people are telling like that. So, hey, why you have taken like that? Tell me what happened. Then he said, because of the wish of the Lord Rama, I finished my dinner. And because of the wish of Lord Rama, I was smoking. Then this happened because of the wish of Rama. Then the police arrested because of the wish of Rama. Then I was put to jail because of the wish of Rama. And because of the wish of Rama, I am standing before you. He was not perturbed at all. Then he was confident that it is because of the wish of Rama things are happening. Then the judge told, oh, okay. Now, he released him. When he is going out, he said, because of the wish of Rama, I am been released, so let me go back. So by that way, though he was having a faith, he was a devotee, a Brahman also, the person who is completely in that thought of Brahman, cannot suffer, never ever suffer, always happy. So that is, he is telling, anamayam, the complete free from all suffering. When the mind is dissolved, all the dual knowledge, along with the knowledge of oneness, are also vanishes. But oneness, that is Brahman. So it has explained that if you have the conception of one, obviously you are knowing about two. The conception of one, that means you are having the conception of two also. This little subtle way. If you don't have the conception of two, then what you will say? Only that much. One or two, the number you are not going to say. So the moment you say, among the many other hills, Himalaya is the highest, that means you have the conception of other hills. Then the Himalaya is the one and the greatest. That one conscious should not be there. That's why the Vedantin, they say, Advaita. There is no duality. Then what remains? That. There is no two. Then what? That. So Advaita. That means from the mind, the slightest idea of the duality also should go away. It is only the one. So he is telling in this way. And second, the Brahman cannot be expressed by the words. So he said calm. Why? There is no desire. Eternal. Because Trikala Abadhita. It is Sanskrit terminology. Trikala. In three different kalas of time are there. What are the three different times? Past, present and future. Trikala. Abadhita. There is no limit. He was eternal, constant. And the suffering, no suffering. What type of suffering? The Hindus, that is the uniqueness, they always go very deep and then explain the whole thing. So it is not a faith actually, just somebody came down and dictated something and that has become religion, not like that. They researched their mind and they came out with the truth. That's why it is so explained. Now you said the suffering. What type of suffering? When there is no food, I suffer. When I can't sleep, I suffer. Is that type of suffering? They said three types of sufferings are there. The one suffering comes from the nature, another comes from the nearby people or maybe the animals and reptiles. Third comes from your own body and mind. So it says, suffering from nature, adi daiva, daiva nature, adi daiva, adi daivika. Suffering from the nature. Nothing was there. I was just driving. Suddenly some tree fall on my car and an accident happened. I was not aware of it. Nobody was there. Everything was all right. Suddenly something happened. Adi daivika. Suffering from the others. Adi bhautika. I saw the small that movies that they send nowadays people. And nowadays some people started thinking cows should be honored and cows should not be bound and all that. So the huge bull, it was roaming in the market. And the Hindus are the worshipper of cows. Some people think in that way. So they are not doing anything. Then one elderly lady, she was carrying the bucket or something like that. Suddenly the bull came and that picture came. It's terrible. It came and almost killed that old lady. Why? That because she was carrying some, that bull must be very agitated. Whatever. The lady never thought the bull will do like this. And suffering. She broke the leg and all that, all the suffering. Where from it came? From the other. That is called adi bhautika. Bhuta means the prani. Then another is adhyatmika. Adi daiva, adi bhuta and adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means my own body and mind. Everything was all right. Suddenly when I just stood up, I reeled and fell and something happened. Where from it came? So these are the different type of suffering. So the Hindus always say 3 times Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sometimes the Pandits or the priest, they will be going on telling 100 times Shanti, but actually this is 3 types of Shanti. The Guru Vasistha then mentioned the goal of Brahma Jnana. The people always ask what we are going to get by Brahma Jnana. Utilitarian theory. Well, I am going to practice religion, but what I am going to gain, what I am going to get? That he is giving the reply to that. Paramananda, eternal bliss. In the 25th verse, he says, Chit matratvam prayatyasya tirna mrittu sachetasaha yo bhavet paramananda kena asau upamiyate. No compare of that joy. No compare of that joy. Completely beyond. This is the highest condition of joy. He says, Chit matrattam prayatasya tirna mrittu sachetasaha. Chit matrattam, knowledge of consciousness. Chit means consciousness. The knowledge of consciousness. Chit means knowledge. Prayatasya, attain. Tirna, mrittu, go beyond the death. Sachetasaha, yo bhavet paramananda. The joy that we get, joy of Brahman, Brahma Jnana, cannot be compared with any other joy. A knower of Brahman goes beyond the circle of birth and death. Tirna mrittu. Tirna means going beyond. Mrittu, the circle of birth and death. And the supreme bliss he attained, yo bhavet paramananda, that cannot be compared with any other thing. Kena asau upamiyate. So that is the Brahma Jnana we are going to achieve by following this. And he has given the 4 steps that we have already read what are the steps. First is satsanga, second vasana tyaga, third adhyatma vidya vicharanam, and pranaspanda nirodha. Holy company, giving up desires, reflection on the knowledge about the self, and practice control of the vital air. These are the 4 ways. I try to practice the meditation. These are the 4 ways. And what we are going to have? Brahma Jnana. What is Brahman? And it says Shantam, Nityam, Anamayam. It is calm because there is no desire. It is Nityam because it is eternal. And it is Anamaya because no suffering. So that is exactly what we call as Amrit. Amritattamana. The Amritatya, that Amrit, in the Indian tradition, Hindu tradition, they will always talk about the Amrit. Recently there was a huge gathering. Why? Because they said after the churning of the ocean that they found the Amrit. And what is that Amrit? Is it like some kind of liquid that if you drink and you become eternal? The story depicts like that, but it is not like that. It is the knowledge. Thank you, friends. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to say a prayer for you in this holy day of the Ratha Yatra. May Lord Jagannath bless us, and may we all understand that we are nothing but the Brahman Supreme. Thank you. If there is any question, we will try to answer.
So the first question is from Sanita Banerjee. She is asking why some people are so cruel and selfish in the world.
Because, Sanita, because some people are cruel and selfish, we got the opportunity to become good. Suppose everybody is good, then there is a competition. So it is better that most of the people are not good. So try to be good. That you are not having many competitors. Don't think about the other people. So let them go into their own way. You try to follow the path of righteousness and become good, become unselfish, and realize the God and become happy. Thank you.
Next question is from Sashi Bhushan. He is asking, when dreaming in our sleep, we see multiple people in our dream. Once we realize it's a dream, everybody disappears. Is it the same thing going to happen when one realizes the ultimate?
Almost the same. Right. You are almost the same way, but they are not going to disappear. So you can understand the truth of this. So they will be there, maybe as a cow, as a horse, or as a human being, but you will find that in each and every being and everything, consciousness is present. So we'll enjoy the presence of consciousness in different form, in different names, and through different activities. It will be a great joy. That's why they say it is not the dream is when you are suffering, that will go away. And when we are enjoying, that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, if you read the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, you will find that Sri Ramakrishna was traveling. Suddenly he found some bad people. The other people, they were thinking there are bad people, they are drinking, and so they were trying to close that windows. Sri Ramakrishna was very happy and he said, Mother, you are enjoying in this form? Very good. So Sri Ramakrishna couldn't see any bad thing. So after the realization of the Brahman, things completely change and you don't see anything else but that Supreme Brahman. That exactly what happens.
Devashish is asking, as you mentioned that we cannot convert the mind of everyone into positive direction, then should we ignore our own people, in bracket blood relation, resulting in suffering of the family members? Please guide.
Devashish is a very good question. Very good question. So actually, we always try to realize the Brahman, but we are not able to realize the Brahman. So Like in the householders, you are thinking about your own blood related, your children, your relatives. As a monastics, as a monks, we always try to do the same thing for the other monastic brothers and brahmacharis and devotees. We try, that much. And after that, it is up to their karma phala. We cannot change it. Even the personalities, like the God himself, the Sri Ramakrishna, he also said like that. So that is why try your best to guide your the very close people to the path of the righteousness, but don't disturb your mind with that. If they follow, it is good. If they doesn't, it is good. It is up to them. So that is the way only we can do. Thank you.
Vishwarup is asking, with the help of meditation, can we cover the mind? To cover our mind, what should we do in our practical life?
So Vishwarup, this is also you are asking how to cover the mind, right? The mind means thought. Then to cover the mind means you have to cover the mind with another thought. What will be that thought? The Brahma knowledge. Think about the Brahman, which is consciousness, which is calm, which is eternal. Like that. That's why to simplify this is the path of the Jnanis, those who are practicing knowledge. That's why the devotees, they take the mantra diksha from the Guru, and constantly thinking about I am the Brahman, it is very difficult. So the Guru says, go on repeating the name of the Lord. He will give the mantra which has come down traditionally from the Guru called. This is Dvaitism. But nothing wrong. We are trying to cover the mind. Covering the mind means stopping the thought. And to stop the thought, another thought we are forcing, and that thought of God. You are going on, no, our Guru said that I should go on repeating the name of God. You go on repeating the name of God. By that way, you can stop the mind and cover the mind. Thank you.
Next question is from Anupam. He is asking how to focus on our study, how to focus so I can study each and every subject minutely to acquire vast knowledge. Please suggest.
Oh, thank you, Anupam. This is also, you have to ask your mind that this is the thing I am going to do. It's like if you love something, you won't feel tired. Suppose we love to watch the movie, the children hours together they will be watching the movie or something they like. Why? They love it. So first you generate the love for the particular subject. Oh, this is unique. This is wonderful. That this type of mathematics or this history or the geography or whatever the subjects are there, you just tell your mind, oh, beautiful, this is unique. So I am going to read it for coming 1 hour. I am not going to send my mind anywhere, and I will note it down so that I can remember like that way. And then, we used to learn in this way. When you have completed, you have noted down, and after when you are just free, going for game or just taking a walk, try to remember what you have read. Then it will be in your subconscious mind. And whenever you are going to write the exam, automatically it will come up. So by that way, you can get the good marks and also the vast knowledge in the subjects. Thank you.
Abhu is asking, it is said that jnana alone gives mukti. If that is true, where does the 3 other yogas fall in this paradigm?
Actually, that is true, the jnana. The Shankara said, and what is that jnana? That I am that God. But just suddenly you cannot think. You have to make a process. By that way only you can reach. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all they have practiced and said. Sri Ramakrishna practiced all different paths, methods, and said all are leading to the same goal. So obviously, Suppose a person is practicing the path of jnana, what he is thinking? Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. I am all pervading consciousness. I don't have death. I don't have life. I don't this. And another person who is in the path of the duality, a devotee, he is thinking that all are nothing but the God manifested in different forms. My God, my beloved. So I must serve them everywhere. Every word he listens, he thinks this is the message of my God. Every form, every being he sees, thinks that is the form of his God. Is it not the same? So they reach to the same way, same place. Only the names are different. Sri Ramakrishna and also the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, for the jnanis it is Brahma. For the dhyanis, those who are meditating, withdrawing their senses from the sense objects, it is the consciousness or Chaitanya. And the Atma, Paramatma. And for the dualities, the bhaktas, it is Bhagavan. For the jnani, Brahma, the goal, only the name. For the dhyani, it is only Paramatma. And for the bhakta, it is Bhagavan. But all are same. Because when you reach over there, you see only non-dual and no conception of two. Thank you.
Shashi Bhushan is asking part 2. Swamiji, then both duality and non-duality are true?
Both. It depends on the person. The non-duality are true means in the process. But when you realize that God, you see only God, then it becomes non-dual. As the person who is from the beginning thinking it is only Brahman, it's non-dual, is consciousness. Similarly, the another person who is starting the journey by seeing the God is there, I am here, but when he reaches to the ultimate, he finds only God remains and nothing else. And God is nothing but the same consciousness. So ultimately it is the all same goal. Process are different. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the questions. And let us say Shanti 3 times and conclude. Om Shanti, 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.